Not a sound. Only a pair of eyes, two blazing amber points. The jaguar, the sole predator in the Americas that both caimans and anacondas regard with caution. It stops. Beneath the black water, a shape nearly 20 feet long lies motionless. The black caiman, the most ancient ambush predator this river has ever known. Two apex hunters, one on the bank, one beneath the surface, the boundary between them mere inches of murky water. The air hangs thick with moisture. The steady drone of insects falls silent, as though the entire forest is holding its breath for what comes next. A single plunge into the current, swift, precise, merciless. Jaws clamp around the skull with a bite force of 1500 psi, the strongest of any big cat, surpassing both lions and Bengal tigers. The caiman's skull, hard as stone, fractures under that pressure. This is not a chase. This is a declaration of supremacy. But the true question lies not in the bite, nor in the prey writhing beneath those jaws. The question is far greater. In the largest rainforest on Earth, where 2 million square miles conceal secrets that science has yet to reach, who truly holds the power of life and death? Welcome to Gaia Docs, where we explore the most extraordinary mysteries of the natural world. Amazon, 2 million square miles of tropical rainforest, stretching across 9 South American nations. 390 billion trees belonging to 16,000 species, of which roughly 100 species account for 50% of all standing trunks. (10% of all life on Earth), more than 2,200 species of fish, 1,300 species of birds, 427 species of mammals, and hundreds of thousands of insects yet to be named call this place home. But the Amazon is not one forest. It is many worlds stacked upon each other. Each layer harbors organisms that have evolved over millions of years to dominate their domain. Each layer has a king. But only one dares to invade the territory of all. "4,000 miles. That is the length of the river they call the lifeblood of South America, the Amazon. The Amazon is not merely a river. It is a circulatory system, more than 1,100 tributaries branching outward like the roots of an ancient tree, nourishing every layer of forest from the riverbed to the treetops. Its discharge accounts for 20% of all fresh water flowing into the world's oceans, 209,000 cubic meters every second, greater than the next 7 largest rivers: the Nile, Yangtze, Mississippi, Mekong, Danube, Ganges, and Niger combined. More than 2,200 species of fish swim in these waters, more than the entire Atlantic Ocean holds. And each year, scientists continue to discover species that no human tongue has ever named. From neon tetras no larger than a fingernail to the arapaima, the largest freshwater fish on Earth. Stretching beyond 8 feet, the diversity beneath the Amazon's surface defies imagination. But beneath that still surface, the Amazon splits into 2 entirely different worlds. Aguas Blancas whitewater thick with sediment carried down from the Andes, and Aguas Negras water black as strong tea, stained by tannins leached from decaying leaves. Where the 2 waters meet, near Manaus the meeting of the waters, they flow side by side for miles without mixing. Black water and white water, 2 parallel worlds, each harboring entirely different creatures. It is within those black waters that the ruler of the aquatic layer waits. The black caiman Melanosuchus niger, the largest member of the alligator family. Length exceeding 20 feet, equivalent to a tandem sea kayak. When it surfaces, only the broad head and those unblinking eyes emerge, while the enormous body remains concealed beneath the blackened surface. A mature male weighs 800 pounds, more than twice the largest jaguar, and nearly as much as a bull. When it slides into the water, only a faint ripple marks its passage, a ripple that betrays nothing of the colossal mass hidden below. Estimated bite force, 3,700 psi, enough to crush a deer's femur in a single snap. To put that in perspective, the black caiman's bite is nearly 10 times more powerful than an African lion's. If a lion's jaw is a pair of pliers, the black caiman's is an industrial hydraulic press. But the black caiman's true weapon is not its jaws. It is patience, the ability to lie motionless for hours, for days, even for weeks, waiting for the single perfect moment to strike. It lies beneath the surface for hours on end, only its eyes exposed. A layer of tapetum lucidum reflects ambient light, transforming those eyes into twin red lanterns burning in the darkness. When prey ventures close enough just a few feet away, the black caiman erupts. A violent lunge sends water exploding upward, jaws snap shut with bone-crushing finality. The muscular tail thrashes in a powerful death roll, and the prey is dragged to the bottom in under 2 seconds. This strategy has not changed in 80 million years of evolution, since the age when dinosaurs still walked the earth. and it needs no change, because perfection requires no improvement. When food grows scarce, its metabolism drops to a bare minimum. It waits, a week, a month, no rush. In the black waters of the Amazon, time belongs to the one who knows how to wait. But the caiman is not the only one who waits. Another predator, longer, heavier, and far more massive, lies coiled beneath a layer of mud just yards away. The green anaconda, Eunectes murinus, the largest snake on Earth. Length exceeding 30 feet longer than a city bus, weight surpassing 440 pounds. This is not a snake, this is a constricting engine weighing as much as 4 grown men combined. Every inch of its body is pure muscle, shaped by 40 million years of evolution for a single purpose: to squeeze. No venom needed, no speed required. Only raw, crushing power and the patience of a predator that knows its prey will eventually come. The anaconda does not bite to kill. It constricts. With every breath, its prey exhales. The coils tighten one more fraction of an inch until the heart has no room left to beat. Scientists have measured the anaconda's constriction pressure, equivalent to a small truck pressing down on a human chest. The prey's ribs splinter like dry twigs. Lungs collapse flat. The heart has no space left to expand. Death comes not from suffocation, but from catastrophic circulatory failure. Eyes and nostrils sit atop the skull, an evolutionary design perfected for an underwater ambush predator. The entire body lies submerged, exposing only 2 tiny points on the surface, virtually indistinguishable from drifting clumps of mud. Rising just an inch above the waterline, it observes everything without being detected. Its camouflage is nearly flawless. Olive green mottled with dark rosettes blends seamlessly into the algae and river bottom silt. An anaconda can lie motionless underwater for up to 10 minutes without drawing a single breath. During that time, it becomes part of the riverbed itself, invisible, still, and lethal. Prey typically realizes the danger only after the first coil has locked tight, and by then, every desperate struggle only makes the anaconda squeeze harder. The anaconda's menu is unselective: fish, waterbirds, deer, capybara, and when opportunity arises, even young caimans. Two sovereigns of the aquatic layer, two contrasting philosophies of killing. One deploys a crushing bite, 3,700 psi. The other employs a suffocating embrace, pressure equivalent to a truck bearing down on a chest. Yet both share the same ancient strategy: lie still, merge with the environment, wait, then deliver a single strike that permits no error. But the Amazon's aquatic layer holds more than two powers. A third force, smaller, faster, and fighting in an entirely different way, patrols the riverbank. The giant otter Pteronura brasiliensis, reaching 6 feet in length, the largest mustelid in the world. Each otter group commands a sophisticated vocal system with more than 20 distinct call types, from sharp alarm whistles when a caiman is spotted, to rallying growls when a large school of fish is found. Unlike the caiman and anaconda, solitary killers, both giant otters never hunt alone. They operate in groups of 3 to 10, coordinating with the precision of an underwater special forces unit, encircling prey and driving it into dead-end pockets where escape is impossible. They mark territory with scent secreted from glands beneath the tail, each group carrying a unique chemical signature as unmistakable as a fingerprint. Each day, a single otter consumes 6 to 9 pounds of fish, nearly its own body weight. Multiply that across a group of 10, and 60 to 90 pounds of fish are extracted from the river ecosystem every single day. And when their territory is challenged, giant otters do not retreat. They confront the black caiman head-on, an adversary outweighing them 10 to 1. This is David against Goliath, Amazon edition, and David does not always lose. Piercing screams echo across the river's surface. The entire pack lines up shoulder to shoulder, rising above the waterline, chests puffed, razor-sharp teeth bared in unison. This is not bravery. This is tactics, the coordinated defiance of the outnumbered against the overwhelming. But fate is turning against them. Fewer than 5,000 individuals remain in the wild. The IUCN classifies the giant otter as endangered. Three powers, black caiman, green anaconda, giant otter, competing for dominance along the same river system. The caiman rules through jaw strength, the anaconda through constriction, the otter through pack coordination. This equilibrium is no accident. It was forged through millions of years of parallel evolution, each species forcing the others to adapt, and each adaptation creating a new and precarious balance. Each holds a portion of the territory. Each obeys its own set of laws, and this balance has endured for millions of years. But the most brutal battleground in the Amazon does not lie beneath the water. It begins where roots meet soil, the forest floor, a realm ruled by perpetual darkness where every creature carries its own weapon. It rests right on the ground, where chemical weaponry replaces muscle, and a creature weighing less than a gram can kill anything that dares to touch it. Light barely reaches here. The Amazon floor is a world of permanent shade, where the air is so saturated with moisture it could be wrung out like a soaked cloth. Beneath the dense canopy overhead, the Amazon floor drowns in eternal twilight. Only 2 to 3% of sunlight penetrates the leaf cover above. Yet within that darkness, another world operates entirely on its own terms. The indigenous peoples of the Amazon have known how to harvest dart frog toxins for thousands of years. They carefully coat arrowheads with the poison. A dose no larger than a pinhead is enough to bring down a monkey in the canopy above. It weighs less than an ounce. It measures no more than 2 inches from nose to tail. But it is one of the most dangerous creatures on the planet. The poison dart frog, Dendrobates. Skin blazing with color, blood red, cobalt blue, lemon yellow. In the natural world, vivid color is not an invitation. It is a warning. Biologists call this phenomenon aposematism. Eat me and you will die. Batrachotoxin, the compound coating this frog's skin, is one of the most potent neurotoxins nature has ever engineered. It attacks sodium channels in nerve cells directly, locking muscles rigid and stopping the heart within minutes. A single golden poison dart frog, Philobates terribilis, carries enough toxin to kill 10 adult humans. No bite required. A single touch is enough. But the most astonishing fact is that poison dart frogs do not manufacture their own toxin. They harvest it from their diet. Ants, termites, tiny spiders gleaned from the forest floor. A microscopic food chain, invisible to the naked eye, operates right beneath our feet, assembling the raw ingredients for the most powerful chemical weapon on this entire forest layer. Nature needs no laboratory to engineer a perfect biological arsenal. The poison dart frog moves slowly, confidently. No need to run, no need to hide. In a world where everything must conceal itself to survive, it is the sole exception. But one predator on this forest floor needs no toxin, no camouflage, and no pack. Those familiar amber eyes appear again, this time in the deep shadows beneath the canopy, moving without a sound through the carpet of dead leaves. With a bite force of 1500 psi, the jaguar is the only big cat that bites directly through the skull of its prey. Lions suffocate. Tigers bite the nape. Jaguars crush skulls. This method demands superior jaw strength, and the jaguar holds the highest bite force quotient of any member of the Panthera genus. No other big cat on the planet employs this technique. It is the product of millions of years of evolution in dense jungle, where prey wears armor like a turtle shell, and jaw strength alone determines who lives and who dies. Its menu on the Amazon floor is staggeringly diverse. Deer, peccary, tapir weighing up to 400 pounds, and even thick-shelled turtles, its jaws powerful enough to punch through armor that no other big cat would dare attempt. The jaguar stands at the absolute pinnacle of the terrestrial food pyramid. No creature in the Amazon hunts it, and no rival dares contest its kill. But just beneath the jaguar's feet, another force operates 1,000,000 times smaller, yet 1,000,000 times more numerous. Beneath the leaf litter, a labyrinth of tunnels spreads underground, reaching depths of 26 feet, thousands of specialized chambers, and millions of inhabitants. This is the kingdom of the leafcutter ant, Atta, a super colony operating with a level of organization that many human societies would envy. Every individual is born into a predetermined role. Soldiers with heads 3 times the size of their bodies guard the entrances, ready to sacrifice their lives for the colony without hesitation. Workers cut leaves and transport them in columns, stretching hundreds of yards across the forest floor. Each ant carries a leaf fragment weighing 50 times its own body weight, the equivalent of a grown man lifting a car with one hand. But what do they do with those leaves? A staggering truth. Leaf-cutter ants do not eat leaves. They are the planet's first farmers. They shred the leaves, chew them into pulp, then use that pulp as substrate to cultivate a specific species of fungus. This is agriculture deliberate, systematic, and sophisticated, and they have been practicing it for 50 million years before humans planted their first seed. Meticulous gardeners tend fungal crops in dark chambers deep underground, pruning, fertilizing, removing foreign spores with surgical precision. The relationship between ant and fungus is a flawless symbiosis. The fungus cannot survive outside the colony, and the ants cannot live without it. The colony's natural ventilation system is so precisely engineered that internal temperatures fluctuate by only 1 to 2 degrees throughout the entire year, conditions so stable that even modern climate-controlled laboratories struggle to replicate them. December, the rains begin. Not passing showers, but solid walls of water pouring down without pause, day after day, week after week, transforming the entire forest floor into an inland sea. Not drizzle, but unbroken curtains of water crashing down ceaselessly, one day bleeding into the next without reprieve. The Amazon's water level rises 10 to 15 feet. The forest floods. The ground vanishes entirely beneath the rising surface. This is the Varzea season, when the rainforest becomes a flooded forest. Trees stand in water chest deep on a grown man. Fish swim among roots that just months ago rested on dry earth. "60% of Amazon fish species spawn during this high water period, exploiting the flooded forest as a natural nursery, where eggs and fry find shelter within the labyrinth of submerged roots that larger predators cannot penetrate." Every rule is overturned. The boundary between water and land is erased completely. The rulers of the ground must learn to coexist with the flood or perish. Leafcutter ants must relocate their entire fungal gardens to higher chambers within their tunnel system, a logistical operation of breathtaking complexity. Beneath the floodwaters, piranha, a species often mischaracterized as a cold-blooded killer, in truth, functions primarily as a scavenger. They school together for mutual defense and attack only prey that is already weakened or visibly injured. Millions of ant workers transport fungus around the clock, a mass evacuation of staggering scale in which not a single individual is left behind. Giant otters shift tactics entirely. The shallow waters spreading across the forest create natural fish traps that did not exist during the dry months. Otter packs herd fish into tight corners between flooded roots, coordinating like a living seine net, some blocking escape routes, others driving from behind, while the primary attacker strikes from the flank with blinding speed. But the greatest transformation belongs to a predator that everyone assumed was bound to dry land. The jaguar appearing for the third time in this journey, now underwater. Few realize that 15 to 20% of the Amazon jaguar's diet consists of aquatic prey, fish, river turtles, and young caimans. During flood season, the jaguar swims hundreds of yards through flooded forest, stalking beneath the surface with a patience it learned from its own enemy, the black caiman. And when prey drops its guard for just a single instant, the strike is unleashed with lethal speed and surgical precision. The success rate of these underwater hunts, approximately 60% higher than most of its terrestrial pursuits. The flood season reveals a truth the dry season keeps hidden. The jaguar is not merely king on land. The jaguar's swimming ability is not innate instinct. Young jaguars learn to swim from their mothers during their very first flood season, a lesson that not every cub survives. Those that endure become consummate amphibious hunters, equally at home in water and on solid ground. It invades even the aquatic layer, the only predator that refuses to recognize the boundaries between worlds. If you find yourself captivated by these silent wars deep within the Amazon, share your thoughts in the comments below. Before meeting that king, meet its subjects. The three-toed sloth, Bradypus, the slowest mammal on Earth. "90% of its life is spent hanging from branches, barely moving at all. Top speed, no more than 0.15 miles per hour, so slow that algae colonizes its fur before it manages to reach the next branch. Daily energy expenditure, a mere 160 calories less than a single banana provides. The sloth's digestive system takes a full 30 days to process a single meal, 30 days to break down a few leaves. But that extraordinary slowness is not a weakness. It is a survival strategy. Across the sloth's coarse fur, green algae grows thick, transforming the animal's coat into flawless camouflage among the surrounding leaves. Pyralid moths live within the fur, feeding on the algae, then laying their eggs when the sloth descends to the ground to defecate a symbiotic cycle that science is only beginning to unravel. The sloth is virtually invisible on the canopy, a moss-green phantom dissolved into the foliage, so perfectly motionless that even the keenest predatory eyes pass it by. The spider monkey Atelis is the acrobat of the upper tier. With 4 elongated limbs and a prehensile tail, as dexterous as a fifth hand, they traverse the canopy with a grace no other primate can match. A tail 35 inches long, longer than its own arm, functions as a fifth limb, wrapping around branches with enough grip to support the animal's full body weight while it feeds or rests. Canopy travel speed: 15 miles per hour faster than the average human can run on flat ground. They swing, leap, and soar across gaps of dozens of feet between tree crowns, where a single misstep, just one, means a free fall of 130 feet to the forest floor below. There are no second chances. Among the branches, gardens of orchids cling to the bark, thousands of species, each blooming for only a few days each year, awaiting the arrival of the single pollinator species they depend upon. The precision of nature here reaches staggering levels of interdependence. And the howler monkey, Alouatta. Its call carries 3 miles through the densest jungle on Earth. That is not a mating call. That is an early warning system. When the howlers fall silent, the canopy knows that something is coming. That something perches motionless on the highest branch, pale gold eyes scanning the foliage below with predatory focus. The harpy eagle, Harpia harpyja, the Amazon's largest raptor and one of the most formidable aerial predators on the planet. When it spreads its wings, its shadow falls across the canopy like an umbrella. Wingspan, 6.5 feet. Talons 5 inches long, matching the claws of a North American grizzly bear. Talon grip strong enough to shatter a monkey's spine in a single, instantaneous squeeze. "79% of the harpy eagle's diet consists of sloths. The remainder, spider monkeys, howler monkeys, kinkajous, all canopy residents with nowhere to flee. A single dive, absolute silence. Not a leaf stirs, not a wing beat sounds. The harpy eagle hunts in perfect stillness. The only sound is the wind cleaving through its flight feathers. The sloth cannot react. Talons pierce through the algae-coated fur, lock around the body, and lift the prey cleanly from its branch. The quietest hunt in the Amazon rainforest, and the deadliest. In an instant, the canopy returns to silence. No screams, no chase, only the sudden absence of a sloth on a branch and the shadow of eagle wings fading into the dense green foliage. The harpy eagle once ranged freely across Central and South America, but deforestation has pushed it onto the near-threatened list, and it is edging steadily closer to endangered. Each harpy-eagle pair requires a territory spanning dozens of square miles of continuous primary forest, because they cannot fly across open clearings to reach their prey. Losing forest means severing territory, and severed territory means losing eagles. And losing eagles means the canopy loses its only regulator. But the question posed at the very beginning remains unanswered. The harpy eagle is king of the canopy. The black caiman rules the water. The poisoned dart frog commands the chemical arsenal of the forest floor. Each layer has a sovereign, But who rules them all? The answer is swimming beneath the surface, those amber eyes again. The jaguar, for the fourth and final time, across its journey through every layer of the forest. This time, it will prove what no other predator in the Americas can achieve. It swims without a sound through the flooded forest. 4 powerful legs paddling gently beneath the surface, eyes and ears rising just above the waterline, mirroring exactly how the anaconda and caiman move through their own domain. Ahead, a young caiman basks on a rotting log. The jaguar surges from the water like a living torpedo. A single explosive leap tears through the surface, so fast the young caiman cannot even turn its head. Jaws lock around the caiman's skull. 1,500 psi. The skull fractures on impact. No chase, no struggle, just a single, devastating bite. On land, it hunts deer and peccary. In the trees, it climbs to rest and cache its kills high above scavengers. Underwater, it swims and ambushes with the patience of a crocodilian. Between the aquatic layer and the terrestrial layer, it moves as though boundaries simply do not exist. Lions need a pride. Tigers need vast, unbroken territory. Leopards need the cover of darkness. The jaguar needs none of these. It adapts to everything. The question from the opening now has its answer. In the largest forest on Earth, the one who holds the power of life and death is not the strongest in any single layer, but the one constrained by none. But even the unconstrained is under threat. The Amazon has already lost approximately 17% of its original area. Scientists warn. The tipping point lies between 20 and 25%. Beyond that threshold, the rainforest will lose its ability to regenerate itself. In 2024, the Amazon recorded a historic number of wildfires. Smoke blanketed the skies over Sao Paulo in the middle of the day, plunging South America's largest city into midday darkness, a stark reminder that the Amazon is burning faster than anyone can extinguish it. Every hectare of forest burned does not merely release carbon. It destroys the mycorrhizal network underground, obliterates leafcutter ant colonies that have endured for centuries, and pushes giant otters ever further from their shrinking territories. The Amazon still absorbs roughly 1.5 to 2 billion tons of CO2 each year. But some regions have already shifted from carbon sink to net carbon emitter. The green lungs of the planet have begun to breathe in reverse instead of absorbing carbon. Parts of the Amazon now exhale it back into the atmosphere, accelerating the spiral of climate change that threatens every ecosystem on Earth. Yet hope is not lost, for within this very forest under siege, conservation efforts are quietly making a difference. Indigenous communities of the Amazon people, who have lived with the forest for thousands of years, are protecting more than 136 million acres of primary rainforest. On the lands they steward, deforestation rates are 6 times lower than in unprotected areas. They are the Amazon's last line of defense. The Trillion Trees Initiative by WWF aims to restore the forests that have been lost. Not merely planting trees, but regenerating entire ecosystems, from mycorrhizal fungi beneath the soil to the towering canopy overhead. Because the Amazon is not a forest. It is a living engine, each layer dependent upon every other. Destroy the aquatic layer, and the black caiman loses its domain, while the river ecosystem collapses entirely. Destroy the forest floor, and leafcutter ants lose the fungal gardens that have nourished their colonies for centuries. Destroy the canopy, and the harpy eagle loses its home, while thousands of orchid, insect, and amphibian species vanish alongside it. And when every layer crumbles, the last to fall will be the jaguar, because it needs every layer to survive. From the riverbed to the highest treetop, each layer holds a link in the chain. Every creature from a frog weighing less than an ounce to a caiman weighing 800 pounds plays a role that nothing else on this planet can replace. The Amazon has stood for 55 million years longer than the Himalayas, longer than the Mediterranean Sea, longer than nearly everything humanity calls eternal. It has witnessed ice ages that froze entire continents, extinction events that erased 90% of all life, and still it returned. But this time, the darkness does not come from the forest. It comes from us, from forests set ablaze, from rivers poisoned, from the indifference of a species that calls itself the most intelligent on the planet. Thank you for joining Gaia Docs. The natural world still holds countless stories waiting to be told. If you have not yet subscribed, now is the perfect time. We will see you on the next expedition. The Amazon needs us, needs our attention, our action, our voice. And we need, the Amazon need its oxygen, its rain, its balance that this forest has maintained for 55 million years.